I think we may get an even more memorable December because I think we're going to get a big follow through. Year to date, silver is now up 95%. Think about that. And the year isn't even over. We still have another month. So I think we're going to end up with a double in the price of silver in 2025. I think silver could trade $100 an ounce by next year. I don't expect gold to make that large a percentage move, although I do expect gold to be above 5,000 next year. So both metals should still be purchased. And again, don't forget, the Mondays have been some of the biggest up days. And I think this Monday will be no exception when they reopen trading on Sunday night and traders get a look at where silver is and the fact that gold hasn't even made a new high. We could have a huge move up in gold and silver on Monday, so don't wait for Monday.
In this sharp market outlook, Peter Schiff breaks down why the next few weeks could mark one of the most unforgettable finishes to a year in precious metals history. With silver already up an astonishing 95% year-to-date, the setup suggests that the rally may not be slowing down. It may just be getting started. If momentum continues at its current pace, silver is positioned to potentially double by 2025, with price targets pushing toward the $100 range far sooner than most investors expect. What makes this moment even more critical is that gold hasn't yet made its full move. While the metal has been steadily climbing, projections now point toward gold surpassing $5,000 next year, adding fuel to what is quickly becoming one of the most powerful dual metal rallies in decades. Historically, some of the biggest upside shocks in both gold and silver have happened at the start of the trading week, and this coming Monday could deliver another explosive jump as markets open and traders react to silver's surge and gold's unfulfilled potential. With both metals preparing for major continuation moves, waiting on the sidelines could mean missing the next breakout. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe to The Metal Bar. Turn on the bell so you don't miss any updates, and comment below to share your thoughts on it. Appreciate you for tuning in. Now, listen to the interview.
Silver is now outperforming gold year to date by about 50%. Now, this is something I have long been forecasting on my podcast and on these weekly market wraps. I've been saying that silver would eventually wake up from its slumber and take the lead and outperform gold. And that is exactly what it's doing. That's why I've been so bullish on silver. And the fact that silver is now leading gold higher, this is very bullish. This means that the precious metals bull market is much stronger because in the past, gold was leading silver. In fact, it was dragging silver, almost kicking and screaming like it didn't even want to go up. And that was one of the negative divergences in the precious metal space. People would be doubting the gold market because they weren't getting the confirmation from silver. Well, now we've got that and then some. We've got silver even stronger than gold. That's what you want. This new leg of the precious metals bull, which is being led by silver, is going to be even stronger. So gold is going to make even bigger gains now following silver than it did when it was leading silver. And the other divergence was the failure of the mining stocks to perform. Well, that's all changed. They've had a great week. The GDX up 13% on the week. The GDXJ up 16.3%. But more important, the year-to-date gains in the GDX at 145% and the GDXJ 157%. That's why in Q1 of this year, if you remember, I came out with a special report, the best way to buy gold, and it was to buy the mining stocks. And at that point, the mining stocks had barely moved on the year. And now we've got this spectacular gain because it was crazy to me that we had $3,000 gold, yet the gold stocks had made no progress since 2000. We had a 50% increase in the price of gold, and the miners had barely moved. I knew they would catch up, and they have caught up. But more significantly for gold and silver is the fact that the gold and silver mining stocks were lagging, right? They were not confirming the move in gold. That was a negative before. Just like silver wasn't validating gold's new highs, neither were the mining stocks. And a lot of people looked at the mining stocks as an indicator, and they didn't believe that the gold rally was real because they weren't seeing it priced in to the mining stocks. And I kept saying that you should ignore the weakness in the mining stocks because they reflect the views of the Wall Street analysts who didn't understand why gold was going up, and they didn't expect it to keep rising. And so they didn't factor higher earnings into the gold stocks. In fact, because they all expected gold prices to collapse, they thought that the gold stocks would go down even more. And so that's what kept them on the sideline. But now it's clear that we have confirmation. The gold stocks are not lagging. They're also leading. They're now outperforming gold, which is exactly what should be the case in a healthy bull market. So we've moved from the early stages where it's just complete denial to the next stage. We're not even near the final stage. So don't even think that, oh, it's too late to get in. Now it's a blow off top. We're years away from that. The general public is completely asleep. They have no idea what's going on. There's really no media coverage whatsoever about the precious metals or the mining stocks. They're still fixated on fool's gold, on Bitcoin. By the way, Bitcoin was basically flat on the day, and it's down 4% on the year, with gold up 60%, silver up 95%. Bitcoin is down, and it would have been down more if it didn't pop back about 7.5% this week off the lows. And of course, the poster boy for the crypto industry, Michael Saylor and his strategy company, Strategy is down 34% this month, in the month of November. And year to date, it's down a little bit more, closer to 40%. It's down 60% from its high a year ago in November of 2024. You're down 60%. And Strategy is off the lows because a few days ago, it was down 70%. This is a major bear market, but this is also very bullish for gold and silver because Bitcoin and the whole crypto space was stealing their thunder. People were buying Bitcoin treasury stocks or Bitcoin mining stocks and not gold and silver mining stocks. Why? Because they were looking in the rear view mirror instead of through the windshield. And they saw this big, outperformance in the past, and they just assumed that that would continue. And so it was hard for the metals and the miners to gain any traction when they had to overcome, well, look at how much better crypto has been. Why should I buy gold and silver? Why should I buy these mining stocks when I could buy Strategy or I could buy a Bitcoin ETF?
Peter Schiff explains why silver is now outperforming gold year to date by nearly 50%, exactly as he predicted on his podcast and weekly market wraps. Schiff has been saying that silver would awaken from its long slumber and take the lead over gold, and that's happening now. Silver leading gold is an extremely bullish signal for the precious metals market, showing that the current bull run is stronger than ever. In the past, gold led silver, often dragging it up reluctantly, creating negative divergences that caused investors to doubt gold's strength. Now, silver is confirming gold's gains and surpassing it, indicating that the next leg of the precious metals bull market will be even bigger. Mining stocks are also catching up. Schiff points out that the GDX is up 145% year to date, and the GDXJ up 157%. Earlier this year, he highlighted mining stocks as the best way to gain exposure to gold, even when they were lagging. Now, they are outperforming gold, confirming a healthy bull market. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is struggling, down about 4% year to date, and major crypto players like Michael Saylor's Strategy are down nearly 40% this year. Schiff explains why this shift back to gold, silver, and mining stocks signals a renewed focus on fundamentals rather than hype. Let's get into the interview.
When it comes to the gold and silver mining companies, they are going to make a fortune based on the moves that we saw today. Silver ended a great week and a great month, up over $3 an ounce. New all-time record high. We're trading above 56.30. I think I just saw it trade above 56.40. I was watching March futures, and there the contract was trading well north of $57. So we're blowing through the high. The previous record high that we set about a month ago or so was around 54.40-ish. So we went right through that, through the 55 handle, and then through the 56 handle. Gold, not too shabby either, up better than $60. I think I just saw it up $65, trading at $4,220. It's not a new record high, but it's getting close, probably on a monthly basis, because this is the last day of November. And on a monthly basis, it probably is a new high for the month. In fact, it may even be a new high for the week. I'm pretty sure that it is. In fact, looking at how the precious metals have performed, silver up 6% today, which is, startling by itself, but it's up 13% on the week, 16.5% during the month of November. What a November to remember. Bitcoin's in a bear market. Bitcoin stocks are in a ferocious bear market, not just strategy. In fact, a lot of the companies are doing much worse than strategy, down 70, 80, 90% or more. So you're getting complete decimation in the crypto space. Meanwhile, gold, silver firing on all cylinders, massive bull market, new record highs in silver, soon to have record highs in gold. In fact, even though we've had this surge in the gold and silver stocks with the GDX and GDXJ, 145 and 157% respectively, neither of those indexes has hit new highs. Now, there are many individual gold and silver stocks that did hit new highs today, but the broad indexes did not. I expect that to happen probably next week. But in the meantime, everything that's happened, it couldn't be more bullish if I had just scripted it myself. And the fundamentals, the Fed is about to cut interest rates again in December when it should be hiking. Rates are already too low, and they're going to make them even lower. This is extremely bullish.
Peter Schiff breaks down the explosive moves in gold, silver, and mining stocks, highlighting why this is shaping up to be one of the most bullish periods in precious metals history. Silver is trading above $56, breaking previous records and pushing well past the $55 handle, while March futures even flirted with $57. Gold isn't far behind, climbing over $4,220 and potentially closing November at a new monthly high. Mining stocks are surging alongside the metals, with the GDX up 145% and the GDXJ up 157% year-to-date. Individual miners are hitting new highs, signaling that the broader market is finally catching up to the fundamentals. Schiff emphasizes that the Fed's impending rate cuts, despite already low interest rates, could further fuel this bull run, creating an environment where gold, silver, and miners can thrive. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and the crypto space continue to struggle, with many major positions down 70–90% or more, highlighting the shift back to tangible assets like precious metals. This historic momentum in silver, gold, and mining stocks is setting the stage for even bigger gains. The fundamentals, combined with record-breaking price action, make this an extraordinary time for investors focused on metals. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe to The Metal Bar. Turn on the bell so you don't miss any updates, and comment below to share your thoughts on it. Appreciate you for tuning in.